case you have been living under a rock, the Detroit Tigers headed to the playoffs for the first time in 10 years since 2014. It's creating a buzz all across Metro Detroit, including some excitement for some local baseball teams like West Bloomfield. So joining us right here live on The Splash from West Bloomfield High School, varsity baseball coach, we have Josh Birnberg joining us. Thank you for being here, Coach.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on here, especially during this exciting time.
See, you already know about it. So we're pretty much just building off of that momentum, the buzz from the Tigers. But I want to see how that translates locally, right? So let's just say, how has the Detroit Tigers playoff, the fact that they reached the playoffs so far in this season, how has that impacted the morale and possible motivation of the team even during the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an exciting time for everyone. It's a pretty unique situation for our kids, for example, that are that high school age. They've really never seen the Tigers be good. I mean, it would have been when they were maybe 6, 7 years old. Last time they were in the playoffs, which is sad to say, but it's the truth. So
Yeah.
I hope it's just motivating for the city. I think that the sports here in general are turning around in favor for us all across the board. You had the Lions last night. Detroit was amazing. So I think things are turning around here in general, but obviously a lot of excitement with the Tigers and some kids that are going to be seeing Tigers play some postseason baseball for really the first time since they've been old enough to appreciate what's going on.
That's a very solid point. I didn't even think about that. They're only in high school for 4 years. Tigers haven't been to the playoffs in 10. So, yeah, they were in elementary school more than likely. The Tigers were a decent team and things of that nature. So, with that being said, moving on to a different perspective of it, like, in what ways does the Tigers reaching the postseason influence the way you would coach and prepare your players?
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot to take from the way the Tigers go about their business every day and the way they've won so many of these games. I mean, they've called up some players and they've acquired some players in trades that Tigers fans probably never even heard of when the season started. And also, our manager, A.J. Hinch, I think, does a phenomenal job of utilizing the full roster on a day-to-day basis. So he'll get guys in the game. He'll take 13 position players to get a win. He'll throw 4 or 5 different pitchers in one game to get a win. Kind of just whatever it takes to win that specific game, they're going to do whatever it takes. And the whole team seems to have bought into that mentality and that attitude, and they all have one common goal, and they're all playing for each other. I mean, there's just a whole lot of things to take away from the way the Tigers operate, every single day. And I think especially here being, in Michigan, I think that it's a really good team to look up to, and I think they do a lot of things that teams around here could take from and better their team every single day the same way.
Great point. Great point. I love the way you put that, too, man. With us right here live on The Splash, head coach, varsity head coach for West Bloomfield High School's varsity baseball, Josh Birnberg, talking about correlating between the Tigers reaching the playoffs for the first time in 10 years and our West Bloomfield Lakers baseball team. Now, also outside of that, you just talked about a lot to take away from the Tigers season. Let's be a little bit more specific, if you don't mind. Any specific challenges or even successes that the Tigers have faced this season that you feel like you can take to kind of imply to your team in some type of way?
Sure. I mean, you can go back just a month and a half ago in August. They had a 0.2% chance of making playoffs.
I was literally bringing that up. Thank you.
And now we're here. It's October.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's October 1st, and we're getting ready for the Tigers to play in a postseason game here at 2:30 local time. So just, you always hear it, but I think it's, it's true in this case more than ever. I mean, it's never over till it's over. And, you're never out of a game. You're never out of a season. And if there's not a better example of that than what our Tigers have done, then I don't know what is. So I think it's a phenomenal example for everyone out there in any sport, really. But obviously, we're talking about baseball right now. That it's just never over, and you got to come ready to play every single day, and keep fighting until someone says it's over or the season ends. Because you saw it; they've used every single game basically possible, and they got back in it, and they caught fire at the right time. So you're never out of it.
No, I'm so glad you brought it up because I was going to bring it up, but I wanted to just kind of let it roll. But, yeah, in August they had 2% or less of a chance to even get to the postseason. This was 2 months ago. And then they stayed focused. And that's what I wanted to ask now. With that being said, They're students, they're kids. It's a lot going on in the world. What advice do you give to your players and the students to kind of keep them focused and help them manage pressure?
Yeah, I mean, just that, you're never out of anything, and if there's a will, there's a way. And you want to relate it to the Tigers, I mean, they're a perfect example. I mean, obviously the Major League Baseball season is longer than the high school season, but
Right.
just on a game by game basis, you're just never out of it until the clock hits zero, or in baseball, the last out is made. So they've just been a phenomenal example, really, just for everyone around here. And I think it's an easy team to get behind just because they've kind of defined like everything that you want in your team or your athlete growing up, and just players that are going to play until the bitter end, and they're never out of it, and they're never going to quit. And I think it's been a phenomenal story, a story that we all can take from, especially here locally, and a story that I hope is not going to end anytime soon as the postseason starts. I
Man,
hope they can keep this thing going here for a few more weeks.
I got to go get one of those hats ASAP. I had the hat when they were in the postseason a couple of those years back. And having that little emblem on the side, oh, it feels so good.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, man. All right, before I let you go, get out of here, Coach, the 2024 season officially over. Tell us about your overall thoughts from the 2024 season and what we can expect from 2025.
Yeah, I mean, we had another really good season. Winning 31 games, anytime you can win 30 plus is phenomenal. We won our league again, which was
Yeah.
great, and we had a 22 game win streak there in the middle of our season. So it was a great year. We ran into the number one team in the state, in the district, and we're tied 1-1 going into the fifth, and then kind of let it slip away there at the end. So.
Right.
Hoping that in 2025 we can make a run in the playoffs. It's really the one thing that we haven't been able to do these last 4 or 5 years, and we know we're going to get a really tough draw like we always do. But I think we have a lot of experienced players that know what it's like to play in that game, and we'll be ready this time around to give it our best shot.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Use them Tigers as motivation. If they can do it, we can come back and do it too. Stay focused and handle that pressure
Yes.
like champs, man. Hey, thank you again for your time. We appreciate you, Coach, for even being here. Once again, from West Bloomfield High School varsity baseball team, Coach Josh Birnberg. Thank you again.
Thank you guys for always having me on. Appreciate you.